welcome back to another episode of WTF. If you don't know what WTF is, it's basically a series that I used to do a few years ago, where I would take a lot of things, people, or just an event in general, anything in the human world. I would take that and I would do a WTF episode. And what WTF is, it's a series that I used to do very, very rarely. I've only done 2 episodes of it. One of them was involving pennies. Pences over here in UK and how useless they are to the human popularity of Earth. And the second one was of a video game, and it was Grand Theft Auto 5, and I pretty much talked about how a lot of players are completely ruined, and the whole thing on GTA 5 was just being completely ruined by cancerous players, and I talked a lot about that. But it's been quite a few years since I have done an episode, so I thought we'd go and check out Warzone and talk about all the WTF moments and everything bad about it, or the majority of everything bad, what I can think of on the top of my head. Now, I would like to say just one thing. I love Warzone. I will forever love Warzone. It's because of Warzone that me and my friends have gotten back together and played video games again. And Warzone, despite the fact that I think there hasn't been a single amazing Call of Duty since Black Ops 2, Warzone and Modern Warfare were very, very good Call of Duties in my opinion, but I didn't care for Modern Warfare all that much strictly because of the name Modern Warfare. It did not deserve the title of Modern Warfare. It should have just been called Call of Duty Revival for all I care, because it was just a reboot in the series from Call of Duty 4 and all that stuff. But Warzone was introduced over a year ago, and Call of Duty had to capitalize on the huge popularity the Battle Royale games had, so like Fortnite, H1Z1, and all the other Battle Royale games that started popping up. Black Ops 4 as well had a Battle Royale game mode that I don't remember because it wasn't that good in the first place, but that was sort of a testing grounds for what Warzone was most likely going to be. And over a year later, we ended up getting Warzone because of Black Ops game mode, which again, I can't remember what it was. I think it was Blackout or something like that. I didn't care either because it wasn't a very good game mode, despite the fact it was Battle Royale. But it was the pinnacle of what we were expected to see, and Warzone came out over a year ago, and Jesus Christ, has a lot of things changed from over a year ago to here. A lot of them are negatives, but some of them are positives as well. So I think I'll talk about the positives. It is clearly one of the most downloaded things that Call of Duty has ever gotten, because first of all, Warzone itself is completely free on all consoles as far as I'm aware. PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox, Xbox One, you name it, it's free on pretty much every single console. So a lot of people were going to download it anyway because it's basically Call of Duty, and free and Call of Duty together is extremely rare because of how much Call of Duty, aka Activision, just tickets off, you know, the stores and ticket off our money. So Warzone being free was a very big shocker, and to be honest, it isn't a full-blood Call of Duty game, Warzone. It's a massive game mode itself. You're just downloading a quarter of what Call of Duty Modern Warfare is, because Call of Duty Modern Warfare had multiplayer, campaign, co-op, and then it got Warzone as well. So you're just downloading what is a small portion of Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019. But when Warzone did come out, it changed the atmosphere in general. But we're going to talk about a lot of the negatives. The game itself is really, really good, do not get me wrong. It puts you on edge, but there are a couple of negatives that we need to discuss about, and to be truthfully honest, a lot of them rely on issues in the game as well as players in general. So if you're watching this video and you are easily offended, you might want to click off the video. And if you comment that I have offended you by saying that you play Call of Duty Warzone like an absolute coward, you need to understand that I don't give a crap. 90% of Call of Duty Warzone players play like 55-year-old elderly people getting it on bed. Slow and methodical. It's not even funny how badly some of the players in Warzone play. Sneaking around like little virgins trying to get their first girlfriend, hiding in buildings, trying to prey on some people. That's how laughably bad Warzone players are. And me, myself, and the players I play around, we don't choose. It's very, very rare that we choose to hide in a building. We prefer to do aggressive playstyle, which is going after the enemy heads on. If we die, we die. If we live, we live. There's no BS about it. We choose to push aggressively, and what do we get in return? actually I tell a lie there, 75% of the time we end up dead because the players are hiding in corners. More specifically, they don't play aggressively, and that just tells you what type of players they are. They're not men, then they haven't got balls, they need to retrieve it out of their parents' purse in order to even be men to begin with, because Warzone, yes, it's all about being the last team or last man standing if you're playing solos, but you can do it so much better. You can do it aggressively, which is what we do. We search buildings very, very quickly. We go after the enemies, and yes, in the gameplay, you are seeing that we are pushing aggressively to get to the zone and pushing the enemies. And yes, I do have a heartbeat sensor. We all have heartbeat sensors. If we can use it in the game, is that really technically being a coward if we're using mechanisms from the game to get the advantage against the enemy? I don't think it is, personally. That's not even saying with the whole meta guns, and Jesus Christ, have I got a lot to talk about. Now, meta guns are basically guns that everybody has to use for the sake of trying to be good. Basically, I'll use an example. A few series ago, or like a few seasons ago, one of the big meta guns in Call of Duty Warzone was the Grau assault rifle. Now, that is still a very good assault rifle to use, but there are so many other better assault rifles out there, especially the AS-VAL. In my opinion, the AS-VAL is a much better assault rifle. Hell, the M4A1 Call of Duty Modern Warfare assault rifle is still better than the Grau, in my opinion. But the Grau was such a meta gun, pretty much everybody had to use it in order to be a cool kid playing Warzone. It's like their parents saying, if you use this gun constantly, we'll end up loving you again, even though we never loved you to begin with. It's like that type of situation. You have to use these overpowered guns in order to get any kills whatsoever, and in order to make the game fun, for me and my friends, we have to give each other weapons or use a random generator weapon sent on the website so we can have fun. We don't care about getting wins in Warzone. We've gotten plenty of wins, solos, duels, and quads and all that stuff, but we want to have fun. If we play like tryhards for days and days and days and hours and hours and hours, it becomes so competitively boring and so lackluster. We just stop playing after half an hour because, okay, we use these overpowered guns, the FFAR and that stuff. Imagine how boring it is using the same gun over and over and over again. It gets so competitively boring. I'd rather watch ice melt in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, drink a cup of water from said melted ice, and watch the ice melt all over again in the Atlantic Ocean. That's how boring using the same guns over and over again are. I'd rather watch paint dry than use the FFAR and all these other guns as well that you use every single day. Hell, in the footage you've seen, I'm using the machete. I am using the machete. The machete isn't meta. The machete is a somewhat average melee. You have to hit your target first, mind you, in order to take him out first if you get up close. But I'm not using overpowered guns. I'm not using these stupid guns unless I have to, which is very, very rare because I don't want to don't want to have a boring time playing Warzone using the same gun over and over and over again. And as somebody that is not a sniper, and I'm going to use this as an example, I do not like sniping in Call of Duty. I am one of the worst snipers in history, and I will be truthfully honest right now. But I am a big fan of the M82 now, the Call of Duty Cold War M82. I am a massive fan of that sniper rifle ever since the Cold War sniper buff came out for all the snipers to have ADS speed and the suppressors and all that stuff actually meaning something now in Call of Duty Cold War sniper rifles. I'm loving the M82 now because of how changed the Cold War snipers have. Now I think it's time to address the elephant in the room, or talk about something that just proves how much cowards are in Warzone. We're going to be talking about the Gulag very, very briefly. Now, the Gulag has changed over the past years since Warzone has been out. In terms of the atmosphere anyway, it can be very, very complicated to describe what the Gulag has changed. But basically, the way to describe the Gulag, if I were to describe it in a simple sentence, second chance only. It's your only chance to get a second life, unless, you know, you get brought back. But in terms of you doing a one-on-one to get a second life, it's the last chance you will have to get on the battlefield unless you get brought back. Now, my biggest problem with the Gulag, it isn't the atmosphere, it isn't how much they change the Gulag every single bloody season whenever they get the chance. It is the players in the Gulag. These players have to be the most cowardish, if that's even a word, players I've ever met in my entire life. They will just stay in the back of their spawn and wait for one of the players to come up to them, and then they will just shoot them like they were AFKing. Now, Me, myself, I'm guilty of doing that at least once or twice. But now, there's no point of staying in the back of your spawn, waiting for one of the enemies to come towards you, and just kill them into thinking that you're AFK. There's really no point in doing that, because it proves what type of player you are. You are a coward, and you shouldn't play Call of Duty to begin with. Now, personally, the Gulag is a very interesting idea because it's a second chance at getting a win. Solos, duos, squads, or anything. But the players in the Gulag are so scared to face you one-on-one, face-to-face with a gun, they might as well just walk down the street and say, I'm a coward, in front of the whole popularity and get the living crap beaten out of you, and you will still feel more accomplished than hiding in the back of the Gulag waiting for one of the players to come up to you so you can shoot them. Getting beaten up in a bar and getting popular is a more bigger accomplishment than winning the Gulag. The Gulag is this is where cowards play, in the Gulag. Hide in the back of the spawn, and you're guaranteed to get a win. Hide in the spawn, you're going to come back anyway, so you might as well just stay in the spawn. If you move in the Gulag and continuously move around aggressively, I respect you. If you stay in the spawn, however, I want nothing to do with you, and you deserve to have your controller broken by your parents, because you're clearly not living in your own house if you're hiding in the back of the spawn in the Gulag. You're clearly not living on your own, because you need support. You need to hold your mom's hand in order to win the Gulag. Yeah, Mommy, I'm going to win the Gulag. Seriously, you are holding your parents' hand to win the Gulag. That's how scared you are in the Gulag. You are begging to hold somebody's hand. I'm too scared to face someone man to man. Can you hold my hand, please, so I can win this Gulag? And now to wrap up my thoughts about Call of Duty Warzone, I've spoken a lot of negativity about Warzone, but in my opinion, if it wasn't for Warzone, and this is just a opinion and a personal thing, if it wasn't for Warzone, me and my friends wouldn't have gotten back together again to play, because like I mentioned before, Warzone is free for all controllers, all consoles, and if you don't have Warzone, or if you're not a fan of Battle Royale games, it's perfectly fine. But if it wasn't for this game, me and my friends wouldn't have gotten back to play together, because it's free. We enjoy a bit of a bargain, aka if it is just free, but we do enjoy free games, even if it's cross-platform, which is what Call of Duty Warzone is. We enjoy playing together, we enjoy having fun. Yes, we do get angry sometimes at the game, but 90% of the time we are having fun. Even though I've said a lot of negatives, we are having fun while playing it, because we mix it up every notch. We do different gun challenges, we do different challenges as a whole. We make it fun. We don't use the same meta guns over and over and over again. If we get a meta gun in the challenge, then we'll use it anyway, even though I hated the Growl with passion because of how many people used it, because they were too scared to use anything else when that was the main big meta gun. And now a lot of people are using weapons like the AS-Val, the FFAR, and the Farah and the Krieg. It's different weapons that you can use. Like, yes, these are meta guns, but there's different numbers of meta guns that you can now use. There's more than one option. You can use the Krieg, or the Farah, or the FFAR, or even the M4A1, for example. You can use other guns, and I don't understand why people think it's important to use the same gun over and over again. I think it's like what I said before. In order to impress your parents, you have to use these meta guns, because you're clearly not doing it for yourself. You are clearly somehow having fun using these meta guns over and over and over again, when realistically you should just try to have fun, which is what you're probably doing with these meta guns. But I'm not having fun using these meta guns, because again, they are meta guns. They are guns that people have used over and over and over and over and over again. It just isn't fun anymore, and I don't understand why people think it's important to use these guns. They're using these guns to impress not themselves, but to impress other people. I'm not going to be impressed with you if you get 20 plus kills with an overpowered gun, a meta gun, because like I said, it's overpowered and it's a meta gun. Nobody will care. If you got 20 kills with, oh, I don't know, the Groza, then I'll be talking about impressive. But because you haven't, I'm not impressed. That's all really that I have to say about Warzone. If I do a part 2, I do a part 2, but I've been talking about this way too long. If you want me to do a part 2, make sure to hit the like button and comment below. I don't know what I'll talk about in part 2, but I'll figure something out to talk about in part 2. But this was WTF Warzone. I hope you somehow enjoyed my rant, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.